So growing up as a kid, my mother and father, they were essentially first generation, so they didn't speak English very well, and because of that broken English came a lot of communication barriers, and we had just moved into an old part of town in Arizona, and my parents had just come over 3 to 4 years. And so we were at a corner store about a mile away from walking distance from my house, and I didn't know at the time, but I was about 9, 10 years old, and my mom walked in, and she didn't necessarily understand how to read things. She didn't know how to understand English or communicate, so she brought me along to help bridge that communication barrier. At this corner store, we had got a couple items, and we brought them to the counter, and as she was about to check out, I went to the back of the store to grab a couple more items. So she was trying to communicate with the cashier owner at the time, and it broke my heart because he refused to, I guess, serve her because he didn't understand English, her English very well. And when I came back to the front, he was getting visibly upset and essentially said, I don't want to serve like a chink in my store. And at the time, I didn't know what that meant. I didn't necessarily know it was racism at the time, but I just felt so upset just because I knew something was wrong, but I was so young at the time, I didn't necessarily know how to deal with it. I just communicated to my mom, hey, we probably should not come back to the store, and so we left our items there and left the store, and we just avoided that. And come to find out, a couple years later, he actually went to the church that we were a part of, and he was also, unfortunately, prior military, and word got around that I was applying to the academies my senior year of high school, and we just avoided him at church and didn't necessarily talk to him. But he approached us later on, just before I was about to apply, and essentially told me that he didn't necessarily think that he wanted me in the military, which kind of blew my mind too, but proved me wrong anyways. And 4 years later, graduated from the academy and sent him an invitation to come to my graduation. But that was sort of the result of that instance. And it was kind of heartbreaking just to know that there are people like that exist. But I think it's important to find your voice regardless of discrimination that you might encounter. I think it just gave me more resolve to just be part of the military as well. And my experience so far has been super satisfying, and I'm super proud to wear this uniform regardless of the fact that people might not respect that.